But today's session was really successful. I was looking forward to this session for a little while because it got me using load for the first time since I've had my operation. So I've been assessing my knee by doing these knee sits and seeing how far I could get back and how much bend I could get. Today was the best range of motion that I had on there so far. It was a big leg session today, and this is the most that I've done on it since I've had the operation. And I used a variation of lunges using what we call the 4Q model. The 4Q was designed by close friends of ours at the Institute of Motion. This model is a great way to help plan programming, and it's something that we consider with all of our training programs. So the model looks at loaded and unloaded on one line, and linear and movement training on the other. When you combine them, it makes the 4 quadrants, and this training session works through each of them quadrants. So we start with walking lunges, which is unloaded linear training. So it's one direction, unloaded, which is my body weight. So this is what I like to call the lunge matrix, and it's one of my favourite leg drills. It's also great for your warm-ups too. It's working in the unloaded movement quadrant because I'm moving through multi-directions with just my body weight. For me, this is essential for getting back into football as well, because you're always moving in multi-directions, landing in different positions. So it's just putting stress through multi-planes. If I was just to do normal lunges that you see in the gym, it'd have no carryover and I wouldn't get the necessary strength back into my body. So next we go on to the loaded movement quadrant, using the VIPR as my tool, but you can do this with any equipment, but it's just having load and working through all 3 planes. So I'm just adding loads of variations, pushing the VIPR in different directions as well. Again, adds a lot of stress to the body. And the loaded movement training is so important because this style of training recreates a lot of stuff that we do in everyday life. And in sports as well, you're coming into contact with other people, you're lifting up equipment, it's not always just in one plane. So I've finished the session in loaded linear training. So you're pushing weight through one plane of motion. You'll find most of the exercises that we do in the gym will be in this quadrant. So I hope that explains the 4Q model and helps you understand how I go and plan my training programs. I try being all 4 quadrants in every one of my training sessions, but depending on my goal, I might spend more time in one quadrant, but it's nice to have the variability in there.